hello, YouTube, and welcome to the first episode of the first series of my YouTube channel. For anyone who is familiar with any of my work, you know that I've been working on a park called Laurel Gardens, which is now in its, I would say, third proper iteration. And to kick things off, I am joined today by a very special guest, Maskedbandit.
Woo! Hello.
If anyone is familiar, I'm sure if you are finding my channel before you found his, something has gone drastically wrong.
I'm hoping that my video of this will send a whole bunch of people your way.
That is also my hope. But for anyone who is familiar with his channel, you know that I have been helping him lately with his park, Summerdale, and doing quite a bit of work in there. So
helping is an understatement.
Yeah. He graciously agreed to reciprocate and come over and give a little help and love to my park here. As I really was at a point where I needed a little bit of help, I think, jump-starting some areas. And so I gave you a particular spot, which we are not looking at currently.
No, I didn't build this carousel.
I wanted to give this particular view just because this is kind of where this entire project started. This is the one part that has sort of persisted through all of the different iterations, mostly because, if you can't tell, the terrain is slightly sloped, and there is this nice fountain. Yeah, this nice fountain here that has been dug out that I just couldn't ever bring myself to attempt to redo. So I kind of continued to build around this area. And I finally got to a spot where I think I'm pretty happy with it, and that is why I decided it was time to bring a couple folks in to help me out. So we are going to... I haven't seen any of this yet other than what you had posted on your channel, and of course, like the snapshot of the park on the workshop.
Yeah,
so,
and you told me that you wanted a forest area. And and then you started sharing some pictures of it. Is it the Laurel Highlands? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So there's an area in southwest Pennsylvania that's the Laurel Highlands. That look at that. Has just a lot of really cool natural features to it. They're very old mountains and things, so for those who are not familiar, don't expect something like the Rocky Mountains. You're going to get a lot of rolling hills and shallow slopes and things, but everything is very heavily forested and just thick foliage. So that was what I wanted to go for, and I had also given you some references of some different architectural pieces by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Right.
Including Falling Water, which is probably...
That's like his most famous, right?
Yeah, I didn't know if my opinion of that was skewed because...
No, I know a Falling Water.
Okay. But that was, that's in the Laurel Highlands, and that to me just seemed like it would be really cool for the area. So to give you guys a little context here before I walk in, let me see if we can see it. So you can see just peeking above this building here, you can see that arrow coaster there. I wanted to have a coaster that was built like in the late 70s that seemed appropriate to have a custom looper in there. And so the whole area that you built would be built at about that time whenever that coaster was put in. So the architecture by today's standards probably looks a little bit dated, but I wanted something that would be kind of timeless, so that's why I wanted to go with the Frank Lloyd Wright look.
Yeah, and I was inspired. I looked a lot at the Frank Lloyd Wright stuff, but I just did a whole bunch of mid-century stuff just months ago for Season Zoo, and it was actually, so I had reference with it as far as building it in Zoo, but the reason there are so few things once we get in there is because I had to basically relearn all the pieces. and especially with the use of TMTK. I had to learn what all those pieces were and what they did. So everything was very slow go, because when you're building these kinds of buildings, there's lots of glass involved, and that means that you're going to have to think about interiors, which immediately complicates things.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I really tried to make it feel like you were walking through the Laurel Highlands, though, at least from the pictures and the areas I was looking at. So,
Nice.
I left this open here for you. This big green space here, because it said backstage, so I figured you have plans there. So
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna take this chair swing out and replace it with a different ride. But it'll be approximately the same size, so it shouldn't affect what you did in any way. But this is kind of a transition area from this Main Street looking style to building restrooms over here, built by Remnant, by the way. I did not.
I love the restroom building.
Yeah, the restrooms, this corner building, and a couple others were done by Remnant. So I'll do a proper tour of this area when it's done, and I'll give him due credit. But yeah, I wanted to have backstage access here for everything that would be behind all these buildings.
So I left your room there. You can just feel free to remove any trees as necessary. So, and I know you also mentioned the Aero coaster is not. You're planning to do supports for it. So again, anything that interferes with that, be my guest and move it.
Awesome. I love that it just like peaks right up above the trees. That's perfect. And then again, for reference, for those not familiar, there is a river here that needs to be worked on.
I started
the edge
a
is
little
cut off.
bit.
Awesome. But yeah, so I gave you quite a challenge here to not only build in the terrain, but on the edge of a river. So
yeah, it was not flat, and if you know me, I love my flat parks. So.
Oh yeah,
that was another big thing, because then you have to start. Well, we'll talk about it once we go in there. So yeah, here's your first little peek. Immediately, it's just green.
Oh. I mean, it has that. It just has that feel. Oh, look at this. Okay,
so the first
we've got
thing,
a little bit of. Oh, I was paused there. Okay.
Yeah. So if you, the first thing I did is try out this river idea, and I used some river rapid section, took out the station and everything, and then just used terrain to cover up what I didn't want. But in the pictures you were showing, there's a lot of rock work, and it's like stacked. It's really pretty. So I tried to replicate that wherever I could, and so I outlined the entire creek here. But since this is a tracked ride, anytime I wanted to do anything with paths, I had to move it out of the way.
Right, yeah.
Total pain in the butt.
Yeah, because it'll let you build the track ride, but it won't let you build the paths.
Yeah, you gotta do paths first, then you can put the track ride in. And yeah, it's fun. So this is supposed to be a closed system, a man-made. Like they built this when they built the area. This isn't a naturally occurring creek.
Okay.
And it's kind of hinted at that because it flows under a building, kind of in nod to falling water. But then at the top, a waterfall just erupts out of some rocks.
Oh, I think is that it peeking out over there?
Yeah, way in the back there. Yeah. So, but I thought we talked about this. This is one of the flat rides that you wanted to have in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't take the central post out.
That's okay. They are all over my park, so no worries.
But yeah, at first I had this up in like the elbow of the coaster after the lift hill, but
Okay.
I liked it closer to the path here. But it does mean it's a little hard to get it as foresty because it's so close to the coaster. But
This is perfect.
the colors are inspired by one of the scrambler rides from Six Flags Great America called the Fun Time Machine. This like,
nice.
and I tried to age it. It's like a very washed out yellow and green. Mm-hmm. So that's just to show that it has indeed been there for a while. So
yeah, I know you had showed me this earlier, and I would say the initial pictures it was much higher up, and I really like it where it's at. It's just enough that. You could tell that this was not a flat piece of land, and they had to build something in order to place the pathing on and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
And then I was going to do a cover for the queue, but I didn't think, excuse me, I didn't think that would work well. With this being a whole forested area, I figured your natural shade. So all I did was throw down a simple concrete slab.
Nice.
And you're free to, if you whatever. It is yours after all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. In this climate, it honestly, summers get hot, but it's not the same as like a park in Florida or Texas or something where it's just unbearably hot. And I would say most times of the day this would be pretty shaded.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Cool. And just a little sign here to. I didn't want to do anything too fancy, but the little planter in the rock there I thought that was a cute little detail.
I like that.
Yeah, to show that that's man-made rock.
Yeah, we had kind of talked about mixing that, like, what looked like real rock with concrete and just having a couple of different textures going on. That seemed to be part of the architecture, so that's perfect.
Yeah, so
I like that.
just a cute little. I made sure it's facing the right way.
Yeah, thank you.
But I like how low the paths are here. You get really good views of the little creek on either side, and you get a good look at one of the first structure there. Now this one the paths on this one are kind of wacky. The asphalt path leads directly to the shop.
Okay.
But then the wooden path is an ADA ramp, and then on the left is a staircase.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I tried to keep that in mind. So if you want to go, I say go look at the shop first. So head up the.
On the right side?
Yeah, head up that
Okay.
path.
Awesome. The are these pieces here, the fence, is that TMTK?
Yeah, that's just beams.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, I just did a reference for a mid-century fence or mid-century railing, and that popped up. So cantilevering, I know, is something you were really expressing you wanted to see things, and so I tried to do that as much as I could. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how, especially since having to have an interior when you're using this much glass. But I wasn't about to use in-game windows. Opaque windows in this style just I don't think would work very well. So
I wish you could see the look on my face right now. The way that everything, like the layer of, just the way that the roofs are layered, and then the way that the way that this wall is sloped on the right side here is just. I mean, it looks exactly what I had in mind.
I'm glad. I originally had just a memento sign on it, on the big on the left side of the building where there's some empty wall space. But my wife said that looked hokey, so I took it off. I've been checking with her.
It's hard to use the in-game stuff because it just so rarely does it really fit.
Right. Now I did fence all this off just because it was so close to the coaster.
Okay.
And I just did the form conforming to terrain because I wasn't. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
No, that's perfect.
Little backstage area so that
nice.
they can stock it and trash and all that, easy access. But then I did give you an actual interior.
Whoa. Okay. First thing I notice is this awesome light fixture here,
Oh yeah,
and the fact that I have actual ceiling fans that spin. That's
yeah. Also TMTK. Thank you very much. Like I said, I had to relearn all of this because I didn't I haven't played Planet Coaster legitimately in a very long time, and I have never really dabbled in Theme Maker's Toolkit stuff. But since every time you send me Summerdale, I have to download more stuff to get to open the file, I figured I might as well give it a try. So.
just go all in.
Yeah, so I'm all in now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so to get some nice views, and I like that you can watch the flat ride. You can see the coaster. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with this. I love all the goofy interior things that you can find on the workshop. All the plushies and the
board
I don't know
game,
what's
that's
in the
cool.
bucket. Maybe rolled up maps. Maybe inflatable things to beat people.
It's
with.
like those those like boom sticks or whatever that you
Yeah,
use together.
yeah. Pardon me. And we'll have, once we're getting our general overview, we can go back and look at night. The interior of this building, especially, I'm pretty pleased with. So.
Okay. Do you want me to switch to night now, or do you want to wait and do it all?
You can do if you want to. It's up to you. I'd say, yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
since we're here, now we don't have to backtrack. So I really tried to take some lessons from Mike. Mike kind of does a lot of stuff with lighting. Talking about using some area lights with really low shine sunken way down in there to give glow to everything. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Sorry, my game is creeping after having
Oh!
saved. I really need to fix that eventually. Okay, we're good.
There we go. It's not the autosave, it's the autosave.
Yeah, it auto saves and then it hangs up for a minute.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so just a nice little gift shop. I figure, what could we use here? So you're going to have a restaurant, and then you have this little gift shop. The floors are also everything in here that's cool is TMTK.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah, they're really pretty. I like the shine on them a lot. It was exactly what I was going for.
Looks like a well cared for.
Yeah, super shiny.
I love that this is, it feels like it's got the right amount of items and everything, but it's still open. It's not super cramped.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like a good spot where if it is a really hot day, you can kind of walk in here, still enjoy the surrounding area and cool off for a minute.
Yeah, it feels like it would be cooler for sure. Yeah, like it's a nice little hangout, and you get some really good views.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, you got the glass doors open. Very cool.
Yeah. On this shop, we have the glass doors open. But again, it was really nice to have, like, those are stock with the game, but beams. I am team beam now. Like, everything on this building is beams.
Yeah, the most of what I have done lately has just been a collection of beams put together, essentially.
Yep.
After a while, it's hard to go back to anything else because the texture is uniform then, and it's easier to recolor things.
Yep.
And the sizes are much more,
It's the tiniest art shape in the game now. That's
right,
really
exactly.
what it is. I wonder how good they'd be for custom signage. I'll have to give that a whack. I bet you that would
there
work
you go.
much better. So you can switch back to day if you want, or keep walking around at night. But you can see there's some custom lamps there. That's why I asked you if you had the...
Yeah, I like those. They fit.
Yeah,
they
I've
fit the
never
sound.
used anything from the Munster DLC except for that now. So, again, looked up some just mid-century lampposts and tried to find something in the game that would work. Usually it's very, very simple style with some interesting patterns on them. So, yeah, I did pull all the little name brand stuff from No Name Landia. So you do have you have TFB, you have all the name brands.
Nice. I love it.
No one currently working at TFB though, so.
Now I thinking back now, I have to put a BroBQ somewhere.
Oh, that's
to match
right.
this.
That is absolutely correct. Yeah, I have to get back. I can't wait to get to Summerdale now. See, your last episode really pushed me. I'm like, all right, what am I going to get for you now? And now I'm kind of in the zone. I want to get back and work in some more. So,
Nice.
yeah. So the stairs here, you use the trick with the vendor to get the really shallow stairs. Mm-hmm. That's how you're able to do that.
Frontier couldn't just.
They do it on Planet Zoo, actually. Planet Zoo does stairs much better. Jerks.
Okay, and this wooden path is the ramp.
That's the and I specifically tried to make sure I spread it all out so it was a nice shallow grade.
Yeah.
And so I think it turned out really nice with these spooky stone accents. So we got the stone and the metal and the wood. That seems to be the mixture of pieces that you see a lot in this architectural style. So to pull it into the landscaping, I think makes a lot of sense.
And this is a really cool vantage point, I think, for the shop and the paratrooper ride behind it.
I really like the way the trees are hanging over the paths and the rides, and the beech trees in this were super helpful because they're bent funky. So you can put them in places where like they would be shrouded by bigger trees, but then have them hang over the path so that they can get their sunlight. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I just love how you're surrounded by trees.
Yeah, this feels exactly what I was looking for.
Awesome.
So well done on that.
Thanks.
All right, I can't hold off anymore. I need to go inside here.
The decoration of this is fairly basic just because I couldn't think of what the hell to put in there. So, but I did do an interior, and it's functional. At the very least, people will come and buy things. So you have a restaurant.
Nice. Pip shot and
Chief beef.
chief beef. Nice.
And the tables are custom. They obviously are not in-game. And again, more beams and more TMTK, but that is directly ripped off of some looks, again, at mid-century furniture. Like that real thin, the thin legs and stuff. That's pretty period specific. So.
Okay, nice. I like the lights. It's a good use of.
Yeah,
those
I mean,
box
you
lights.
use those in my park, and I was like, okay, I need to use those more often. And they're a little, they sometimes, like, it was hard to find where to place them. Like, I thought on either side where people would be sitting makes
Right.
sense. So,
Yeah, for sure.
cool. And the big main attraction to this is the outdoor part. So,
Is this a doorway right here?
yeah, that would be is there a piece of glass there? I think it's empty. I think it's a
It
sliding
looks
door,
empty.
actually, if you look to your right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a little
okay.
bit thicker there, so it's actually
Gotcha.
a sliding. Yeah.
Awesome.
And this
Well,
roof was, because it's angled in both directions. It was
that's-
kind of a
Aw. You are a glutton for punishment, sir.
pain. Yeah, it was something.
Oh,
But here's
there
your
we go.
nice cantilevered patio.
Right on the water.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could see totally just eating lunch here and.
I mean,
and
what? Yeah.
watching. Ooh,
That's
I
a
may
view
need
of the corkscrews.
I may need to fix the shaping on that a little bit. Looking at it now.
More power to you. I just use the in-game ones. Call it a day.
I think I did for most of it, but the beginning part, in order to get it banked at the very
Yeah.
beginning, that didn't
That's
come out
true.
quite right.
So, like, you did up to and then did a half corkscrew in-game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I like the way this turned out as well. This one took me a really long time. The interior, just getting the interior not to look a hot mess, took forever. So I had this outside area done in about not too long at all, but then making it work inside was the struggle.
Gotcha. Like I had said before, the mix of materials is just so cool because you've got that like concrete look, and then you've got this natural stone come around.
Yeah, and like I said, that is very much in all the reference that you see. It's a lot of the interiors are wood paneling on a lot of the buildings I was looking at, but that felt too much.
Right.
So another reason this all takes so long is I'm not sure there's very few actual gridded wall pieces in this build. It's all windows as walls.
Oh, there's no other way to do it at this point.
No, that's kind of where I'm at. That's why everything takes 3 times as long. So.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, and that was my first test on the terrain there, the rock work. So that is trying to replicate with what little rocks we have the look of the Laurel Highlands.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty common to see something like that. Just kind of, like a rocky shore. In some spots, you might not see anything. It's kind of just like it goes from forest straight to water.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of this too.
I think on the other side of the building I have it where it's just pretty much forest into the water.
Okay. Let's see if we can.
Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you can see it's just like right on top.
Nice.
What little you can see there. Yeah, much less rock. But yeah.
That came out. I mean, just absolutely perfect.
I'm glad. It's always a nervous building for other people. It's you never really like you're like, oh, I hope so. I like it.
I hope this is what they're looking for.
Yeah. But I did shut you out for a while. I showed you a couple pictures, but then nothing really for quite a while. I'm not sure you saw much of this building at all.
No, there's definitely a lot here that I didn't know existed. Other than you had told me that you had built this, that, or the other thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I just didn't do the coaster station. I wasn't like that's one of those things that has to function. So it really takes a lot. But I did try and dress up the area here, the pre-lift area, just make it safe for people. Nice little. I use the same color as the coaster for the railing there.
Nice.
Yeah, just kind of tidy it up a bit.
Oh, I like this wall over here that goes along the right side.
Oh yeah, it just further emphasizes the terrain shifts, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
and the terrain continues all the way up the lift hill of the coaster. So there's still lots of room back there just to add more plants and trees and stuff. So, are you planning on adding a cover there for guests, or?
You know, I don't.
It's
I don't
pretty
think-
close.
It is close. I think I might do what Cedar Point does. So if you look at Corkscrew, which also, like, its prominent features that it spans the midway. The parts of the track that are fairly close, they have basically like fencing on the underside, sort of like what B&M does with their netting. But I might do that maybe on part of it. But I don't want to put like a structural cover necessarily.
Good, because I considered doing some sort of trellis type thing, and I was like, that might be. If he wants that, he can do that.
Yeah.
And I did not get to I did not touch anything in this area other than throwing
No,
out some stalls.
That's fine. This is going to be the plaza proper, I think, for the coaster itself. So this is kind of what I gave you as a like, here's what I did, and
Well, yours looks so period specific. Like you can tell that's straight out of the 70s. The hard part with this Frank Lloyd Wright style is that getting that to fit in a theme park is such a challenge. Like that's why the buildings are kind of funky in their proportions. It's like, well, this is a theme park trying to build in this style. So yeah. But I do love this here over the little plaza. That's cool. This is a very cool coaster. You know, for being narrow.
yeah, right. It like looks better than I'm sure it would be on the ride.
Oh yeah, those rides are not fun. Like Corkscrew, oh my gosh, last time when we rode it at Cedar Point last summer, I forgot, like there's a big knot in my back from the seat. It's not a comfy ride.
No, it's definitely one of those where like I would just rather stand off and take pictures of it.
Yeah.
While it goes over the midway.
It looks nice.
It's funny because you can tell that I'm not used to doing YouTube because I just have all of my junk just laying out here.
Well,
for
to be fair,
everyone.
the park, there is stuff everywhere. You should hop
Yeah.
out at Digicam and just take a look at the file. It's everywhere.
I mean, you can see too. There's like, oh, I tried to start building something here and just didn't. I'll just leave.
Right. Well, building the park, I mean, having an undeveloped area, even a little area, like that was daunting to look at a big space of green and just be like, well, like, what do I do? It looks so small, but there's so much crammed into that little area that, it took way longer than I ever thought it would. So.
I mean, it does look small, but like you said, it's really there's more there, I think, than what it looks.
And the paths are all winding and stuff. I think that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see how the rocks and all that on the river. I carved out the one side of the river and I left the other side real hilly like that. You could see on the right there's no rocks. So you can
Over
just
here.
sink some trees in there and yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
like
there
it.
you go. That's my little Pennsylvania forest area.
Well, you, sir, have done a fantastic job.
Well, I appreciate it. Oh, at nighttime. Yeah, just so you can see what
okay.
it looks like from the paths. Because, oh, and the restaurant too. Let's see, is it going to wig out when you switch to nighttime?
That should be okay.
Ooh, there's no lighting on this side of the building. I just realized.
Exposed.
No,
Exposed.
no. It's so dark. Ah. It's okay. I mean, there wouldn't be many lights out on the patio anyway.
No, maybe something underneath. here,
Yeah, on the
sure.
roof, some can lighting or something. But lighting is not my. You say foliage is not your forte. Lighting is not my forte. So
I
don't know,
this,
I like it.
Slightly off color. I like that. Like it's not just like plain white lighting.
right. No, I do try to throw color in there, and I did like on the creek, there's like, if you look down the creek past the gift shop near the flat, there's like some like dark bluish purple lighting to kind of make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got some green in there to kind of, just to kind of give it some vibes, you know?
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. Like you got the nice warmth of the building, of the interior, but then the cool colors around it to kind of, I don't know, I think it looks nice. So.
I love it. I think the lights on here look excellent as well. Obviously, you did not make those, but
No.
the color choices were excellent.
Good.
And I think I may actually leave the coaster unlit, other than maybe the lift. And you just kind of get, you know, at nighttime you would just kind of get the ambient light off of it, which I think is
Yeah. Like that was at Cedar Point we noticed. I never really realized just how dark so much of a coaster is.
cool. Yeah.
Save for like a Millennium Force, but
Right,
yeah.
and a lot of times, you know, they'll light up the parts that you can see, you know, but they don't really worry about parts that you can't see. So, I mean, that's the beauty of a night ride, right? Is it
right.
just completely dark?
Yeah.
No, this is everything I could have wanted and more.
Yay.
And I'm super excited to continue with this project and to dive into other areas. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. Certainly there is more to come, but I have this that you just did. I have a dark ride that Fisherman RCT just made for me. So I'd like to work on that area as well. So I got 2 or 3 different areas I want to take a look at next, and that'll probably be the next episode. And I'm not putting a date on that because
So next week, right?
yeah, right. I don't want to fall into the trap that other YouTubers have fallen into and say when things are going to come out, because it could be next year. Who knows?
Yeah. No. Well, I hope that this is the start of a productive and awesome YouTube channel. I know that you are quite a skilled builder, and it's about time people on the YubTubs saw what you can do. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah. Awesome.
All right, and with that, I think we'll call it a wrap. So, thank you again for everything that you did. And if anyone, for some reason, has not been to Maskedbandit's channel, I will put a link below, and you can just go straight back to the channel you just came from. For most of you, I'm sure.
And if you did hit here first, I'm going to have a video on my channel showing the progress of this build, so you can see it in a bit more detail how I did what I did.
Awesome. I cannot wait to watch it myself.
Ha! And there will be a link to your channel in it as well.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Bye-bye.